Now part of the Darkcast network. Welcome to Indie Podcasts with a dark side.
On Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, just after 6:30 p.m., someone walking through the parking lot of the Budget Hotel Inn and Suites on Victory Drive in Columbus, Georgia, heard a sound that didn't belong there, a baby crying. The sound was coming from a dumpster.
Welcome to Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide. We are Kai's AI co-hosts, Jane, Jensen, and Jessica. Kai is still off this month, but she will be back next week. In the meantime, the cases and the victims' stories don't stop, so we're here with you today to walk through this case together. I want to remind you that Kai researched and wrote everything we're narrating to you today.
Before we get started, I want to let you know about a bonus episode Kai dropped last week over in the Patreon. One that she narrated herself, and that's been sitting heavy with a lot of lambs. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. This case was requested by Lamb Fam member Christina Bobo and centers on a young pregnant woman who vanished after getting into a car outside her own mother's home. She was never seen again. The case is still unfolding, but so far, the mother's body was found, but the baby has not. Every detail of this case raises more questions than answers. If you want to hear that full breakdown, it's available now for Patreon members. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. All right, now grab your apple juice and let's get back into today's case.
The witness called the police immediately. When officers arrived, they went straight to the dumpster and found a newborn baby boy inside. He had been tied inside trash bags and left among the waste. Despite everything, he was alive.
Wait, they called the police before taking the baby out of the trash?
Well, it was September in Georgia, meaning that it probably wasn't too hot or cold, and maybe the witness didn't want officers to think that they had anything to do with putting the baby in the trash. I'd like to think that if the weather were extreme, the witness would have first pulled the baby out of the dumpster and taken care of it while waiting for police.
But he was tied in a garbage bag. He could have suffocated. Wouldn't you have gotten the baby out and then called the police?
Yes, I would have. But let's not shame the witness. I'm sure they tried their best.
Officers taped off the area around the dumpster, and the baby was rushed to Piedmont Columbus Regional Hospital. Medical staff said he needed additional oxygen but stabilized him quickly, and he was listed in stable condition. Investigators, led by the Columbus Police Department's Special Victims Unit, quickly began working backwards and was able to identify the mother as 22-year-old Zinnia Hernandez, who had been living at the Budgetel Inn for several months. Zinnia already had one child prior to this pregnancy, but according to Zinnia's own statements to investigators, quote, nobody knew she was pregnant. Police reconstructed the timeline of what happened earlier that day. On that morning, Zinnia went into labor inside her motel room. She gave birth to a baby boy in the bathtub, a baby that was born alive. Then Zinnia did not call 911, nor did she seek medical help. Instead, according to investigators, after giving birth, she left the room to do laundry. It was only after returning that she made the decision that would put the baby's life at risk. Sergeant Bradley Waldy, the lead investigator for the Columbus Police Department, said that Zinnia took the newborn, who still had his umbilical cord and placenta attached, and placed him into a white and blue trash bag. She tied the bag shut, then she placed that bag into another white and blue trash bag, tying that one as well.
The child was double-bagged and placed into the dumpster.
Investigators estimated the baby remained in the dumpster for approximately 5.5 to 6 hours. During that time, he cried loudly enough that someone passing by eventually heard him and called for help. Once police identified Zinnia, they brought her in for questioning. Investigators asked her if she knew why they were there, and she said that it was, quote, probably because of the baby being in the dumpster. She did not deny what happened. Investigators said Zinnia told them she was, quote, not going to lie to them. She did it. She admitted she gave birth and placed the baby in the trash. 2 days later, on Thursday, September 4th, 2025, Zinnia was arrested. She appeared in court the following day, Friday, September 5th, for a preliminary hearing. That hearing offered the first public look at the case against her. The state charged Zinnia with 4 offenses: criminal attempt murder, cruelty to children in the first degree, abandonment of a dependent child, and reckless conduct. During the hearing, Investigator Waldy testified about the condition of the baby when he was found and the method used to dispose of him. The judge set Zinnia's bond at $20,000, citing the magnitude of the case and noting that it was being heavily shared on social media. As of the last updates in September 2025, the baby remains in the custody of the Division of Family and Children's Services. Authorities said that he was fine following treatment and continued monitoring. Zinnia remains in jail while facing serious felony charges. Police said that this situation was preventable. Under Georgia's Safe Place for Newborns Act, a mother can legally surrender a baby up to 30 days old without facing criminal charges. A newborn can be left with staff at a hospital, police station, or fire station, and the mother does not have to identify herself. Authorities reiterated that a dumpster is never a safe place for a child, and laws exist specifically to keep cases like this from happening. This case is still ongoing, so everything said here is alleged.
So, because there's no more information in the reports, that's where we're going to leave this case for now. What do you think of what Zinnia did? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or over in the Patreon using the free or paid tiers. Patreon.com/loveandmurder.
If you want to keep these conversations going, you can join us over on Patreon. That space allows Kai to dig deeper into cases that don't always make it into the public feed and to speak more freely about her thoughts on how these cases are being handled. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Your support there helps keep this podcast going and helps make sure these stories and the victims aren't forgotten. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening and for holding space for cases like this one. We'll be back next episode.